Before you tamper with any of these wires, disconnect the battery. Let it discharge. Do not do that with the battery in. Connected, whatever. Back again with my little 2003 Civic EX Coupe EM2 project. So I'm doing a airbag module SRS swap because these seats have airbags, but it's rare to find the seats in leather, and I found a leather set of seats out of an LX, which the LX doesn't have the side airbags, and I want the leather because this velour, I don't know what it is. If you're wearing sweatpants, it'll daggum pull your sweatpants off. It picks up so much lint and hair. You can't vacuum this stuff off of here. You have to use like the sticky lint rollers and stuff. It's just awful. So I just want to switch to leather. And that requires me to basically do a side airbag delete. And, well, one person on the forum said that you can swap the module with a lower model car that didn't come with side curtain airbags. So since I have an LX which did not come with the side curtain airbags and it's the same year, I'm going to attempt that very swap and prove whether it works or not. There's nothing wrong with my system outside of it's got the seatbelt flaw where the light comes on because the little pin switch in the seatbelt buckle doesn't register that your seatbelt's plugged in, so you get the airbag light all the time. Oddly enough, it doesn't show that my seatbelt's not plugged in on the dash, yet I'm still getting a 9-3 code. I don't know. I've cleared it multiple times. I've cleaned the switch multiple times to no avail. So worst case, I will be putting a new seatbelt buckle in there courtesy of the other seats. And yeah, hopefully deleting the side curtain airbag system by installing my LX's airbag module, which I've already pulled. But I figured it would be something good to document because it seems like all the old information on the forums is disappearing and YouTube is now the current way to find stuff. So I'm going to document doing that. I've already pulled the seats, easy enough. You've got your 14mm bolts, 2 in the rear underneath the little covers. Yeah, that was the rear, and then the 2 up front, and then you're unplugging all of your restraint systems. This little guy is a pain in the butt. This pushes down here, but it's tight. It takes some finagling. Just don't break it. This one, you kind of do the this whole thing here slides to get it to release, and then these are just your standard weather packs with the little push buttons, whatever, push levers to unplug them. And that's passenger side. Obviously driver's side doesn't have the weight sensor, so you've got one less. I'm assuming that's what that blue one is the sensor to see if someone's in the seat, so that airbag doesn't deploy unless there's a person in the seat. So we're going to remove the center console. It'll be the same as if you're going to be pulling the radio or whatever. But I figured I would just go through this and show pulling the airbag module. We're going to start out with, you've got your screws on either side of the console, which are Phillips, so we're going to go ahead and pull those. The upper one is just a normal screw. The lower one, just so you know, is like this. There, okay. But that's what the lower one is. It goes here, and your upper is that fella. So, and like I said, they're Phillips. You'll be doing the same for the other side. After you remove both of those, then you're going to want to remove this rubber liner from out of your glove box. There we go. Pull that little fella out, and then you will see under there, oh look, surprise. Apparently, the things you find in a used car, that is basically what those lower ones look like when they haven't been exposed to God only knows what in the environment. See, one is still screwed in. Now, you can't just go yanking and pulling because this guy still has more fasteners underneath. You do want to pop this fella. It's real easy. It's just little clips. And then I have changed out my shift knob, but I believe, if I remember right, the factory one has a collar that pops and then releases the boot from it. I've got to figure out a better way to retain that boot cover, but in my case, knob I got out of a automatic RSX. You're going to want to run that off. You can see all the flakes. I'll be redoing the shift knob, and this blue stuff is just here temporarily. But yeah, I cut the threads in this to make it fit on here. You're going to want to pull this bad boy very carefully. It just has little retaining clips all the way around. So gentle pressure up. Going to expose, you have screws down there and 2 in each corner. So here, here, down there, and down there. You're going to want to pull those out. This is why you don't go yanking on stuff ahead of time. Because some people just tell you, oh yeah, pull that piece loose. Well, it's retained by these and you'll just go breaking this stuff. So, fished our screws out, and I've got one oddball, so I'll fix that before I put it all back together. Now you're going to want to gently pop these loose. You see they've got these little pins along the edge. Now, one thing of note, when you do pull your center console, there's normally little push pins in here. Mine are gone, but you're going to want to extract those. They're on either side as well. So you won't be seeing me do that step because I don't have them presently. An angle that y'all can see as I'm doing stuff. Put your lid down, and then you can gently pull this back. That piece is also just held by clips. Sorry, I didn't realize you were out of frame, but this just slides straight back to you once you get those legs loose. In my case on this, I have the fog light wiring that I'm going to need to undo, and you also need to undo the back of the cigarette lighter. It's tight quarters, so my hands are going to be in the way, but I'll show you how I did it once I get it loose. I had a little spring that popped out as I was moving that around. I'm not sure where or what he goes to because that still works. But in order to get the wiring loose, my aftermarket fog light was easy. It was just pushing down here. This little guy has this piece right here. What I ended up doing is I lifted this little flap here because it's got that leg on it, and it came loose from the cigarette lighter. I'm assuming that little plastic bit goes into one of those holes. We removed that little piece in front of the emergency brake. Now you're able to slide that to the rear, and with that clearance you can tip this up, sliding it slightly back, and remove the whole console. Now with the console out of the way, you notice down here the little yellow plugs. Well, yellow is airbag system. So that is our prize. That's what we are after. That's the SRS airbag module, basically the brains of the system, if I understand everything correctly. And now there are 3 fasteners. It's a T30 and it's awkward, so you're going to want to pull that out, that lower kick panel, to give yourself more clearance. It's got these little clips, and then it's got these 2 prongs that go in up under some corresponding, there you go, they look like that, the little areas where that plugs in, those little clippies. Those little hangers there are where those little rubber bits go. So when I'm soundproofing, I'm gonna put some stuff there to help reduce vibrations. Anyway, now we have a much better view of the T30 on this side. He's right there. All right, got her in. Now our other one, number 2, is right back there. You can see where I'm pointing. Now the easiest thing to do is go ahead and get your wires out of the way to get to him. These kind of do this weird plunger action. And you pull, oh, sorry, I was in the way. You pull this collar like so. I guess it's like a plunger, like that. Now, and there's one more little guy over here, and he is just a regular, he's got a little push down flappy. And then move your wires out of the way. Our pry back there. Trick is fishing your socket in there first, and then you want to get your tool on there. Good grief, that was a pain. So I'm coming in from the side, and my Torx bit was just long enough to fit in that little U-shaped collar. And these things are much longer than you'd anticipate. See, so I'll be wrenching on that for a minute. Okay, he's free. To the third and final hidden one, you're gonna want to pull your carpet down. Big pain in the butt with that is it's molded across, so you're gonna have to tear that. I mean, no one's gonna see it because you'll tuck it back up, but still. There is your hidden one. Maybe it'll focus. Anyway, it's back there. So that's the one you're gonna want to line up and remove. And it's awkward. And while I'm at it, here is the tool, the Torx. Let's see how he's shaped, yeah. And it is a T30. Easiest way for me to get this bad boy out. Yep. Okay. There she is. Uh-oh. Wiring harness is strapped on there with one of those little plastic tabs. Reach here. So you're going to reach on the back side with a set of pliers and pop that loose. Alright. See how he has little legs on him? You basically take your pliers from the back side and squish his little legs in like so, and then you can feed him through. And then you don't have to break it. Here's the module. So like I said, mine had the 3. And that is the one for the EX with the side curtain airbags, in case you need any of that information. Okay, here's the one from my LX. Now, in comparing the two, this is the one for the LX, the numbers. Now, you'll notice that second module. Notice the pins. This is the one of the EX. You see all those extra pins in that second? This guy here. I assume pins, no pins. So that's the delete, I'm assuming, for the side curtain airbags. And now we're gonna install this new fella. Basically reverse order. Let's see if it goes smoothly. Now it goes without saying, make sure you can see back there the 2 areas where those nuts run in, or bolts. It goes without saying that you want to know that the module you are reinstalling is good. So you don't take it from a car that's had its airbag deployed, because because the modules are toast after that, from what I understand. All right, I see what was happening. There's a little rubber mat for insulation, and the far side over there was getting hung up on that mat. The rubber mat right here that was catching on this edge that wouldn't let the hole line up. Now, for the sake of your sanity, getting that rear one in is awful. So I got some, it's called Dum Dum, at least that's what the mechanics at Delta used to call it. It's like a clay almost, a butyl clay material. I got myself some of that and stuck it on the bit, and then was able to hold this bolt in the rear, line it up, and very gently run it in without cross-threading it, and get it in place. It works. It's like slightly sticky, and it works to get that to hold onto your tool momentarily so you can install things. But basically, you saw us take it out, run them in the same way. Oh yeah, these are so much fun. What a joy. Oh. And then our rearmost one. Basically, you want them tight enough that the module's not going anywhere. Now we're going to work on adding our wiring back. Now, they're dummy proof because you've got the little lines that line up with these, oops, that you can't see. There we go. So you've got your little lumps right there that line up with the notches. Boom. One. Next one. Make sure I have it right side up. Let me check the pins, hang on. I see our issue. I'm not inept, but those right there are skinny. They are thicker and fat. So that is what's giving us problem fitting it in. Everything else lines up. Okay, it's not pretty, but I cut the lumps off the wiring. I'll clean them up a little more. God, that looks bad when you zoom in. Very carefully. Ended up going with pushing the collar back and going with this guy. So, alright, after fighting with this thing, what turned out to be the difference is this is the LX computer. Right here, that guy is just slightly longer. So I had to shave this down slightly. Right here on this side, I had to shave that down slightly. And for the plug, I could have shaved these down up top, but I was trying not to get anywhere near those pins and do any damage. So instead I reprofiled the plug as you saw before. I thought it was the center section that was holding me up, so I humped that. Anyway, I made a mess of this plug, this weather pack. I'll probably pull one off another EX in the future and clean it up and make it look more professional. If it works, I'll put it that way. But anyway, I took out the little humps here so that it doesn't know any better. Now, this guy will actually plug in properly. So, whether it works remains to be seen. But anyway, I had to pull it back out to do that, so hence it being loose. I'll reinstall it in the car. Moment of truth. Clutch pedal in, away from airbag. Oh, that's a hard position to hold the clutch pedal in and be on the floor outside. Woo! Leather seats are in! No airbag! Nanner, nanner, nanner. No airbag. No airbag. It worked! Whoo! And nothing blew up. So, hallelujah.